Sunday, August 12, 2018. This is Mercedes Diesel Guy, and this is my 1998 Volvo V70 GLT project car. I'm actually going to do a bit of a DIY video for you here today. And I'm going to pan over here to the door panel. Ignore this here. I'm either going to fix this or replace the door panel entirely. The vinyl, or I'm not sure if it's actually leather here, is all torn up. Got the car this way. Anyhow, here's the focus of the video, the master window switch. Now, these do get faulty, and over time, sometimes they just don't work properly. And I've had a couple of these over the years that they just stop. They don't stop working entirely, but maybe one window, 3 out of 4 windows will go up and down, and then one window will only go down with the switch. And you can't use the switch to bring the window back up, and then you have to go around to the actual door and use the switch there. So basically what happens is these things do just over time get gunked up inside, and it's not a matter of the switch being broken so much as it is about dirty contacts. And I don't know what a brand new switch directly from Volvo would cost. I actually did purchase an aftermarket replacement for this car, and I did test it. It works fine. It's a brand new piece, and that ran around $20, and it looks just fine. But I do believe this switch can actually be repaired, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you how to do it. So the first thing to do is to actually get the switch out. And there's a couple of ways to do that. You can actually take the door panel completely off, which I'm not going to show you how to do. Unplug the switch from the bottom and then push it out. Another way to do it, which is what I'm going to do, is you can actually very carefully, so as not to damage the surround or the switch itself, you can pry it directly up and out. And because I'm not on a tripod, I'm actually going to put the camera down to do that. I've got a couple of smaller screwdrivers I'm going to use for the job. I'm going to be very careful not to nick anything. I'm going to go slowly, but essentially this switch just pulls straight up. And then I'll show you the cables you need to disconnect. Okay, so I have pried the switch up, but I have not disconnected it yet. So I don't recall if I've actually demonstrated this switch, but I'm going to show you this before I disconnect it. So here is the switch for the driver's window. And it goes down and up, no problem. Here is the front passenger window. Down and up. Rear driver's side. So 3 out of 4, but here's where I get the problem. Here is the rear passenger side window. Goes down just fine, but the switch will not move the window back up. So I need to go to this switch on the door to do that. So as I said, basically what happens is the contacts inside the switch here do get all gunked up and prevent electrical contact. And you can actually take this apart and clean it. So once you have pried the switch up, what you need to do is disconnect these cables here on the bottom. And there's a, you can see this gray tab here. You have to push that in, and there's a little tab on all three of these cables. You just push the tab in, pull the cable out, and you disconnect the switch. Okay, so now that you have this switch out, what you need to do is disconnect this whole bottom portion here, which is the electrical portion of the switch. And you can see here these little tabs all around the switch. And what you need to do is just get a little screwdriver in here and pry this lip over the tab. And do that all the way around. And you can then remove this upper part of the switch from the lower electrical portion. So I'm going to do that. And once you've released all those tabs, this top portion of the switch here just pulls away. So now you can see the electrical contacts. And as you can see here, and once again I apologize for the lighting, everything is just dirty and gunked up in here. So basically all you really need to do is get in here and clean these contacts. Especially, you see these fingers here, this is where the switches make contact. And it's a little easier to see here with this orange plastic piece. essentially when you push the window switch, it'll move this this orange plastic piece forward or backward, and that activates these, it causes these, copper arms here to make contact. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get in here with some spray electrical cleaner and some isopropyl on a Q-tip and clean this up and put it back together, and if I'm correct, this should now work properly. So you can see I have the switch reconnected here so I can test it. The LEDs are back on, but the actual switches, the mechanical part of the switches, are not connected to the lower electrical contacts. And this is what I actually used to clean it up. I had this on the shelf. This is just electronic cleaner, and I just sprayed it on and I let this thing dry. So I believe everything should now work properly. And remember, this here, this was the, actually here's the rear passenger switch right here. And once again, I'm going to slide this back. Sorry about the focus, but you hear this going down and going back up. So really that was just a matter of dirty contacts. So I am just going to put the switch plate back on here and test it once more with that in place, and this should now be fixed. Okay, so I have the mechanical portion of the switches back on, and I'm just going to test everything here, starting with the door locks. Those are working fine. So, driver's window. That's working nice and smooth. Front passenger window. Nice and smooth. Rear driver's side. And now, rear passenger side. Still going down. Oh, and what do you know? Now it goes up. So, really that's all there is to this. If I had not been filming, I would have been done with this in less than 5 minutes. It's really just a matter of popping the switch out, taking it apart, cleaning the contacts, and then just putting it back together. This is a very easy job, and it can save you the cost of a new switch. So I'm happy about that. I do have a brand new one here, but since it's a nice brand new switch and looks nice and neat and clean, it'll probably just go into one of my other cars. So this is Mercedes Diesel Guy. Thanks for watching.